What is going on, everybody, and welcome back into Byerly Studios. Now today we are not actually going to be painting. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be working with what? Gold leaf. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to be working with gold leaf. We're going to apply a little bit of gold leaf. How many times can I say gold leaf? Gold leaf to this awesome eagle painting. Now, I've already used my palette knife to create quite a few different sessions of this painting. And at this point now, I want to add a little bit of shine to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the existing texture we have already painted to apply some gold. So we're going to use our little paintbrush here with a little bit of gloss clear Mod Podge. And we're going to gently apply a little bit of adhesive to particular places throughout the project. So I'm going to begin by kind of layering in Mod Podge here and there sporadically across the branch that the eagle is sitting on. And as many of you who are following this project here on YouTube know, this project is a little bit far from being done. Now, I like to take my time with projects like this. I'm not painting from a plan. I am just going along with throughout the process. And as I get to different stages throughout, I may introduce different mediums, different processes, and overall different kind of shading and coloring as I go through the process. And if I'm happy with how it looks, then I'll move on to the next. Until I finish up the layers here. Now, I've got a lot of layers of paint already on this, and I've got quite a bit of texture built up around the wings and the upper portion of the eagle, but we still have a long way to go. But I do want this to have a little bit of an eye-popping feature when it is being viewed on the wall or on somebody's mantle, or even at the Carolina Classic Fair. And that is really why I am creating this painting. This is going to be an abstract entry, a traditional abstract entry, and of course I want it to have a little bit of pop. So what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of gold leaf to increase the overall kind of eye-popping features of the painting. So it'll have that underlying kind of gold leaf effect around the outside edges. As you can see, I did paint those black. Those are a nice thick layer of Mars black. And as you can see there, it really kind of deepens the overall saturation of the colors. The colors haven't changed, of course, but us adding the nice brown washes in previous stages and sessions, and then painting the outside edges of the canvas a nice deep Mars black, it really makes those nice rich browns pop a little bit more. Now, we're going to be changing those colors a little bit as we work through later processes. You'll notice that it just has a real eye-popping effect, and I'll definitely come in and change the overall way that the rocks below the branch are kind of looking and kind of deepen those colors a little bit more. I'll probably come in with another shade layer here soon and apply a little bit more darkened colors throughout the branch and under the edges of the wings and the kind of the rear of the hind feathers of the eagle. Maybe around the chin and the beak area, kind of defining some of those darker colors before I come in with some brighter tones again. I'm going to definitely kind of whiten out a little bit with raw sienna and titanium white the chest feathers, as well as some across the actual outside wings as well. But here you can see I'm just using that brush to kind of gently kind of accent particular movements in the overall bark texture that I would like for the branch to have. Now, we're going to come in later with some different colors of browns, different darks and lights, and we're going to kind of go over these existing marks that I'm making very gently, but with a lot of like texture. And I'm hoping that this gold just brings out a little bit of accents here and there across the branch as it's kind of coming down and around where the eagle is sitting there. Now, I may come in later on and I may kind of do some extra little features here and there along the outside edges of the eagle talons or around the beak. Maybe I'll do that in like a bronze leaf or something like that, and then go over it with a lighter shade of white and maybe some yellows or something. I don't know quite yet. I don't know how I'm gonna like how it looks at that stage, but I'm definitely kind of just going along with the flow, and I just want to have fun with the process, and I hope you guys are enjoying these styles of videos. Now, most of the content in this playlist is sped up to 1.5 to 2 times speed, so not very fast at all, and we're really kind of introducing a little bit more of my realistic speed into this project. Now, of course, I can break it all down and time-lapse it into like 12 times speed where my hands are zooming faster than the eye can pick up. And you see the project become like, you know, from nothing to finished in like 2.5 seconds. But that's not what I wanted for this playlist for my YouTube channel. There are videos out there like that, but that's not for this content. This content is supposed to be more long-form content. That's why a lot of these videos run from 20 minutes even up to 45 minutes, depending on the content being covered. So as we go ahead and finish up the actual branch here, once we get that done, we'll kind of move into some other areas, working our way around the outside edge of the canvas and then up into where the background will be behind the eagle. That's going to be very much more gold leaf than what we're applying here. And when I say applying, whatever the Mod Podge is sitting on is what would be left behind. So when we brush all the gold leaf off and all that debris falls down to be caught up for other projects, I'm not going to waste that. Then the background will hold substantially more gold leaf than what this branch is going to hold. So we do want to make sure that it completely dries before we remove any of that gold leaf, but that's a later stage. Go ahead and sit back, you guys. Enjoy the music. Enjoy watching my paint strokes here. And just to reiterate, again, this is a Mod Podge that we're using to apply this awesome gold leaf to this canvas. Now, as you can see here, my paintbrush is kind of like very stringy here. I'm making sure that the Mod Podge goes on in just kind of like a nice random like kind of fashion. And I'm tearing the gold leaf and I'm applying it just a little bit at a time. Now, as I work into the upper portions of the canvas where I'm covering more surface area, I'll tear off larger segments. But just remember, when we come in to brush this off later, all of this will kind of deteriorate into smaller segments. So it's not like it's being wasted because I'm tearing it so often and so many times. But I do want to get full coverage. Also, try not to get any of this Mod Podge on your fingers as you're doing the application. But you also want to make sure that the actual gold leaf is being pushed down into the Mod Podge so it makes a good contact and it's not sticking up too far out of the paint as you put on new paint layers. And then here we are, we're applying the last piece to the actual branch. Now the branch is actually going on a little bit higher than the branch is supposed to. I'm thinking about extending that branch up a little bit behind that wing. We'll see how that plays out as I get to those stages of the painting. But as you can see, we're going to go ahead and cut screen here, and we're going to actually begin working on the sides of the painting. Now, I want to make sure that we can apply a little bit of that gold leaf, kind of just continue that out and around, and I may even continue that onto the back of the overall canvas board, so that way it's just more uniform when we look around to that. So if you were to look at the back of the canvas when I make the sketch on the back of the board, and it's just very uniform. It's all one solo piece of artwork. Any kind of prints that I make of this would not have that, of course. So just remember that if you were to eventually see this on my Etsy or my website, and you bought this as a print, then it may not have that that gold leaf on the outside edges. It'll probably just be a black edge or maybe a white background. So now you can see we're going to go ahead and put the Mod Podge on the outside edges, and we're going to work our way up the canvas here. I'll do a few camera transitions as we work through this, but it's very self-explanatory. I'm laying in larger segments of the gold leaf, and what attaches. Just don't let the Mod Podge dry out too much as you begin working your way up the outside edges of the canvas and applying your gold leaf. You want to make sure it has a good contact before it starts to really set up too much. So as you can see here, we did do a camera jump, and we do have the total top of the canvas completely covered. That is a substantial amount of gold leaf. Yes, it is, but it's only actually probably like 3 to 5 sheets in total. So it actually goes a really long way when it's all said and done. I still have quite a bit left in the containers to work with other projects. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to begin the process of brushing off the gold leaf. This is a very satisfying but kind of time-consuming process depending on how much gold leaf you have or how much overall texture you have with that. So just remember that I'm going to use 2 fan brushes here. The very first will have a little bit of a glue edge on it. It's just kind of like a crafting brush that I've been using for a very long time. It's a lot more rough as far as its contact with the surface here. And the second will be a much softer brush, which will be more so for feathering the edges of the gold leaf and just kind of removing those little fine edges that are making good contact with that Mod Podge adhesive. So I hope this is a really enjoyable process. I hope you can introduce a little bit of gold leaf into your paintings. Go ahead and sit back and enjoy the music as we roll into the second half of the video there. I just want to hop in here, guys. Is this not such a satisfying portion of the video? Just being able to slowly, just methodically and enjoyably, howeverably, take off some of this awesome gold leaf there. It's really enjoyable. I look forward to putting a lot more gold leaf on my paintings moving forward, and I might even just layer some full-on backgrounds with the gold leaf and paint over them. I was thinking about making some heaven-like paintings or something like that, so it's very, very cool. I think it will be very enjoyable to continue using gold leaf in different ways, and maybe even some silver or some bronze leaf. That would be pretty cool too, right? I think so. So as you can see there, it really does leave a lot of room for us to come in and paint a lot later in between those pieces of gold leaf. So I didn't want to do a full coverage there, and I really wanted to push myself to maybe make sure that I leave room for the paint to be layered in the next session or two. So as you can see here, as I brush off the branch there, you can see it leaves a lot of texture behind, and that is the whole gold. So we left a lot more kind of like string-like texture on these portions of the gold leaf, and it's a lot more to brush off, but it's very satisfying. You can kind of really see how it's leaving behind just what I wanted to be left behind, if that makes sense. It really is fun, and I do have this time lapse just to kind of expedite the portions of the video. If you did click on this video to see a little bit of a gold leaf action, then I hope you were satisfied in this, and I hope you were okay with me kind of leaving it more so real time for the majority of the video before I went into any kind of time lapses to kind of expedite things. I just don't think that you need to sit back and watch the same thing over and over and over again. I'll do a little bit of real time, a little bit of sped up, and then I'll time lapse quite a bit of it to reduce the overall time that you have to invest in the video and the content. But I really do hope y'all enjoyed it. We just have a little bit more here to go, and then it'll be completely finished up here, and then we'll get kind of a glamour shot of what it looks like before we go into the next stage. The next session of this amazing abstract American bald eagle painting will more than likely be me uploading the image into Procreate on my iPad. So that will be session number 5, and that will be a digital art video. It'll probably be substantially shorter just because I want to kind of notate and show you how if I'm unsure of how dark I want the background or the foreground to be, then I can kind of tinker with that, at least for the most part, general shades in Procreate, and kind of get an idea of where I would like to take it. That'll be a very basic video. It won't be like extravagant details or anything. I'll mainly use like a low opaque or a low occupancy brush, and I'll kind of just overall add shading and some lighter colors of browns to particular areas to see how I would like for that to look. So just expect that over the next few weeks, or maybe a week after this video will be uploaded. That will be a digital product or digital video featuring Procreate. So just remember that that's just session number 5. And then after that, after I decide how I would like for the shading to look, some of the color tones, then we'll move on to actually picking up the paintbrush and the palette knife, and we'll get some more abstract color really layered into this. Maybe a few more layers of wash here and there, being much more picky about where those colors are laying, and then we'll kind of finish everything out. I hope you guys really enjoyed the gold leaf content, session number 4 of this amazing bald eagle. I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can for a lot of these videos, even though it is a substantially larger canvas than some of my other creations that I've made in the studio for YouTube. And as you can see, we do have a lot of texture, but we're going to apply even more as we move forward with later stages. So I hope you enjoyed my overall creation process. I didn't plan a lot of this out, but I'm definitely having fun making it, and that is what art is supposed to be. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next awesome video. Later, guys.